Did I ever tell you about the time that Sockmonster and Zubin went swimming? Yeah. Well, it it was Zubin who wanted to go swimming, and Sockmonster didn't want to. Zubin said, "Hey, Sockmonster, it's really hot out. I want to go swimming. Let's go to the swimming pool." And Sockmonster said, "I don't want to." And Zubin said, "What do you mean, Sockmonster? Why don't you want to go swimming?" And Sockmonster said, "Well, Zubin, I'm just made out of socks, and if I get in the water, I'll just get all waterlogged, and I'll get so heavy I won't be able to move in the water. And what if I sink?" And Zubin said, "Oh, Sockmonster, don't worry. I'll go swimming with you, and I'll make sure that you don't get too waterlogged, and I'll hold your hand just in case you start to sink." And Sockmonster said, "But Zubin, what if you sink?" And Zubin said, "It's okay. I've got a special bathing suit with floaties in it, so I won't sink." And so Sockmonster and Zubin went to the swimming pool. And Zubin got in first, and he loved swimming in the water, and he started swimming with his hands, and he swam back. He said, "Okay, Sockmonster, your turn to get in." And Sockmonster was a little afraid, but he put his toe in the water, and he watched the water make his toe heavy with water and wet. And then he put his other toe in the water, and he watched it make his toe heavy and wet. And he reached out his hand to Zubin, and he took Zubin's hand, and he stepped into the water. And Zubin and Sockmonster started to swim in the water. And Sockmonster got the hang of it pretty quickly. And so he and Zubin started to have lots of fun. They swam back and forth, and they hung on the side of the pool and kicked their legs. And Zubin was always right next to Sockmonster to make sure that he didn't fall, he didn't get too waterlogged and sink down in the water. But then Sockmonster looked down and he said, "Zubin, what's that at the bottom of the pool?" Zubin looked down. He said, "I don't know. What is that at the bottom of the pool?" It looked like a hole in the bottom of the pool. And they looked at it for a little bit, and then Sockmonster said, "Let's go find out what it is." And Zubin said, "Well, how will we do that? It's all the way at the bottom of the pool." And Sockmonster said, "Well, we could try swimming down." And Zubin said, "But Sockmonster, if we swam down, we wouldn't be able to breathe. I can't breathe underwater." And Sockmonster said, well, I don't have to breathe because I'm just made out of socks, but I think you can hold your breath. Go, see? That whole time I was holding my breath and not breathing. You can hold your breath and not breathe. And so if you go underwater and do that, you can have your whole head be underwater. And so Zubin said, "Okay, I'll try it." And he went, and he put his head underwater. And he swam down, down underwater. And he held onto Sockmonster's hand, and they both swam underwater. Down, 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 until they got to the hole in the bottom of the pool. And they said, "What do you think's in the hole?" What, Seven, what's in the hole? Do you know what's in the hole? Well, okay, they'll find out. So they swam down into the hole, and there was a tunnel underwater. And they went through the tunnel, until they came to a room that was underwater. And in that room, it's all filled with water, so they still have to hold their breath. But there was a little bit of air at the top of the room. So Zubin put his head above the water so he could breathe. And then he put his head back underwater again. And he looked around. And do you know what he saw? What did he see? What do you think he saw? He saw a little boy made out of water underwater. And they swam over to the water boy. And they looked at him. And you know what was happening? That little boy, he was clear. He had a head made out of water, and he had arms made out of water, and you could barely see him because he was in the water. But you know what was happening to his eyes? Little drops of tears. Little bubbles of tears were coming out. That's right. You know what water boys do when they cry? They